Bam. Bam. My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get this healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. My bad, y'all. We started the show a little bit late. I was getting my workout in. Had to finish my workout before kicking off the show. But we in the building, fellas. Let me kick this thing off by saying, you know, it's a beautiful day, my peoples. I always say it. If you up, if you breathing, it's a beautiful day. No matter the weather, where you at, it could be hot, it could be cold. No matter the circumstances. It's a beautiful day, my people. God gave us another one. Thank you, God. Yes, sir. Give a shout out to everybody who already tuned in. My brother Sai in the building, Toy Mafia, Brascarog, Clifton Dennis, The Assassin, my peoples. Fight week, we're getting closer and closer to 3 title fights on Saturday. I'm excited about all these fights. Of course, the main event, Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. We've already been talking about it for over a month. Who's going to win that fight? Who do we expect to win it? Look, it's looking more and more like a 50-50 fight. And I say that because Daniel Negron, salute my brother. I say that because there's a lot of people saying Ryan is going to win. There's a lot of people saying Mario Barrios is going to win. In fact, I've seen Conor Ben saying that Ryan Garcia is going to get knocked out by Mario Barrios. So predictions for this fight, they're all over the place. I haven't been able to make my predictions, my people. I haven't been able to. I tried. But this is such a competitive fight, such a good fight. You know, for the people that say that either fighter is going to get washed, man, you wildin'. You wildin' now. This is going to be a super, super competitive showdown. Ronaldo, good morning, Boxing for Breakfast. Best part of the day. Salute, family. Bam, you're about to get this healthy dosage of sweet science. Look, man, we focused a lot on the main event for obvious reasons, but you have to look at all 3 of these championship fights. They're all great fights, and they're all going to be competitive. We're going to get fireworks. On Saturday, yo, listen, it's going to feel like the 4th of July. I know we're in February, but it's going to feel like we're in July. If you think about Gary Antoine Russell versus Andy Hiraoka, I'll have a feeling that's going to be a real good fight. Andy Hiraoka is a Japanese fighter who I'm not familiar with, but when I see those fighters from Asia with an undefeated record, with a high knockout percentage, you know, those guys usually come up fighting tough opponents. You know, those are not manufactured records. Of course, you know, you get a few easy wins early in your career, but these guys face tough opponents in Japan and Asia, and I expect Gary Russell to have his hands full. Now, I'm expecting for him to win this fight. He definitely will be the favorite going in, but I don't think it's going to be an easy one. And then you look at Richardson Hitchens, who's facing Oscar Duarte. Oscar Duarte is a guy who can bang, a guy who has power, a guy who's going in there feeling confident that he can win this fight. And then, of course, we have the main event, Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia. Whoa. Whoa, my peoples. Brascarov, Ryan, win or lose, wins. Boxing or social media. He's in a good place financially. We're about to see Ryan's true character. I got to say, man, there is a lot of pressure, even if he won't say it. But there's a lot of pressure on Ryan Garcia to win this fight. You have to remember, he had a title shot versus Rollies, and he lost that. Before that, he had a title shot versus Tank Davis, and he lost that. This is 3rd title shot, right? And I've said it before. I've always felt like Ryan Garcia will become a world champion. But he has to do it, right? He has to accomplish it. He hasn't been able to yet. Is the 3rd time going to be the charm? We're about to find out. We're about to find out. But Mario Barrios, he actually feels confident that he can beat Ryan Garcia. And I got to say, my peoples, Ryan Barrios takes away the physical advantages that Ryan is used to enjoying. He's bigger than Ryan. If I'm not mistaken, he has longer reach. He's a bigger guy. So Ryan is not going to be punching down, fighting the shorter guy like he does oftentimes because he's a pretty big guy himself. Skipper Clipper. Good morning, Box Center J. Smith. I missed your prediction for Frank and Albright. I actually didn't make a prediction for that one. I spoke about it, but I didn't make a prediction. Willie P. Good morning from underrated Will, J. Smith, and chat on work phone. Salute, family. Bam. So, fellas, look. I think I'm going to be making the prediction for Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios after the win. I haven't been able to make it. I wanted to. I just haven't been able. So, my last thing that I want to do is I want to see him in the win. I want to see if there's anything that I can get from that. Is anyone looking like they dehydrated? Is anyone looking like they struggle to make weight? Is anyone going to step on the scale looking like they need to be held up? Or they both going to look strong? That's the last thing that I'm going to have to wait for. That's the last thing. Once I see that, once I see the win, I'm going to make a prediction. Brady, Ryan has become a YouTuber and a clown. He's a great boxer, but a weirdo. Look, we've seen Ryan Garcia act out on social media and then step in the ring and have a great performance. So I think that he's able to separate what's going on in life with what he's going to do inside the ring. I know that he said it himself that he was affected in his last fight because he was drinking, he was struggling with weight, all of that stuff. But let's see what version of Ryan Garcia we get for this fight. Brascara, Barrios better be a bully, better be in bully shape. I want to see, because when it comes to the win, sometimes that gives us a story of how things went in training camp as far as cutting the weight. You see guys get to the win, and as soon as they step off the scale, they looking for something. And they looking like they gone. They out of it. Or they step on the scale looking strong, step off the scale, and you can see like, damn, this motherfucker had a great training camp. So I want to see, that's the last thing I want to see before I make a prediction. How is Ryan Garcia going to look after the win? And how is Mario Barrios? Mario Barrios always been in pretty good shape. He's always been in good shape. So let's see it. Skipper Clipper, he been streaming way too much lately. I don't know if he's locked in. Let's see. I've seen Ryan Garcia on a lot of podcasts, a lot of shows. So let's see how locked in he is. Ramirez, nah, man. We see Ryan definitely had a great training camp. Facts. But that's what I'm talking about. Ryan Garcia, he's obviously a big star, a social media star, a YouTube star. And we tend to focus on the things that he's doing on social media, but that doesn't really dictate how his training camp going. He could still be having a great training camp. And I'll refer you back to the Devin Haney showdown. When he was prepared for Devin Haney, we all thought he was going to get knocked out because it's like, damn, yo, Ryan Garcia's bugging out. He's doing more TV or more social media stuff that he's in camp. Well, he fooled us all. He was actually getting prepared to beat the crap out of Devin Haney. The Assassin. Barrios pulls the upset, J. Smith. I've been saying it from the start. I got Barrios. And I respect that, man. I know that the type of fighter that Barrios is, this is why I have not been able to make a prediction. This is why I've struggled with it. And I'm actually going to go all the way to the win. I'm going to wait to see them in the win, and then I'm making my prediction. Clifton Dennis. We don't get those same-day wins anymore, so it's hard to see the truth. No, I think even with the prior day win, there's things that you can see, because if a guy, let me give you an example. There's a big difference between a fighter who made weight the right way versus a fighter who was 15 pounds over 5 days before and cut those 15 pounds in 5 days. They're not gonna look different they're not gonna look the same in the win. And then when you struggled a lot to make weight, your rehydration is gonna be different than the other fighter. So it could tell us something. I've seen fighters show up to the win, they're like, yeah, He's not good. He's not good, and it shows the next day. Braskarog, I went through the cutting weight and wrestling. It's a balancing act from hell. For real, bro. Real talk. William P. Who faster, J. Smith, Shakur, or Devin? That's hard to say. I think they're really close when it comes to that speed. It's really hard to say. I think for us to really know who's faster, we have to see them in the ring together. They have to share the ring. But cutting weight, Braskarog, is tough. Especially if you have to rush it. Because, like I said, there's fighters that they do it the right way. So a week before the fight, they're super close to making weight already. A week before the fight, they're like 2-3 pounds. But if a week before the fight, you over 10 pounds, then it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a process. There's fighters who is 3 days before fight night, and they still got 10 pounds to go. That's going to be a problem. Could be a problem. Ramirez, Barrios, taking too much punishment before. One thing we got to give Ryan is he can lock in while fooling people. Barrios been getting hit a lot in his past fights. There should be no problem for Ryan to stop him in 8 rounds. Whoa, Ryan Garcia with the stoppage in 8 rounds. Ramirez said Ryan Garcia getting stoppage. Whoa. The assassin Barrios is more battle tested. Ah, you see? Let me say something. Now that you said that. Mario Barrios is been in it with tougher opponents than Ryan Garcia. So when you say he's taking punishment, well, he's fighting better opposition too. We have to take that into consideration. Danny on the ground, who has the better chin? I don't know, but it'll be very interesting. I mean, we have to consider the fact that Ryan Garcia got stopped by Tank Davis in, what was it, 5 rounds? If I'm not mistaken. Mario Barrios almost went the distance. So if you look at some of the guys Barrios been in there with, Tank Davis, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Ugas, yo, Barrios has been about that smoke, my peoples. Let's not get it twisted. Braskarov, will Ryan even make weight, though? I think, being at 147, he should be able to make weight. I expect him to make weight. That would be embarrassing if he didn't. Like, bro, you had your 3rd title shot, and you're not going to make weight? He better. Clifton Dennis, I agree with that. Ryan stops him early to mid. Whoa. Look, if Ryan Garcia catches Mario Barrios with that left hook at the right time, it could be over right then and there, or it could be the start of the end. Barrios could get hurt really bad, and if Ryan hurts him, he's going to go for the kill, for sure. For sure. Skip a Clipper. The only thing I want to know is what Joe Goosen will bring to the table. Ah, you see? Joe Goosen can be the ace in the sleeve because he's very familiar with Ryan Garcia. Not just for the fight, for the previous fight, but before that he used to train Ryan as well. So he knows Ryan. He knows about some of the mistakes that Ryan makes. So let's see if Mario Barrios is going to be able to capitalize. Because I tell you what, let's keep it real, my peoples. The only reason Mario Barrios brought Goosen into the team is because what he knows about Ryan, what he can tell him, how he can prepare him to the things that Ryan does well. So, Joe Goosen could be a factor. Don't get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. Skip a Clipper. Leaning towards Barrios a little bit. Braskarog, I forgot about Goosen. Goosen, he's in Barrios' corner. Clifton Dennis. Mario been milked that belt long enough. He has had top opponents since he got it. Doug Boots, Doug Norman, Doug all the unifications. The Assassin. Ain't that the coach that had a mole in his camp? So, sometimes, man, people say anything. I don't know about the coach having a mole in somebody's camp and all of that. But Joe Goosen trained Ryan Garcia in the past. Multiple times. You know, he trained him for the Rollies fight. But before that, or was it for the Tank Davis fight that he trained him? But before that, he used to be Ryan's trainer for a while. William P, it's fight week. How we all ready for bombs? Yo, it's gonna be bombs away, my brother. Bombs away. Because all three of these championship fights, we're gonna get that smoke. Pretty much guaranteed. Ramirez, not Jay Smith. Golden gonna get Mario effed up. Joe don't know much about. Underrated Will. I got Ryan. I'm telling y'all, man, the predictions with this fight have been all over the place. All over the place. Some people got Ryan. Some people got Barrios. Danny on the ground. Jay, who has the better resume or quality opponents? No, that has to be Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, for sure. Why? Because, I mean, you have to look at the people that he's faced already. It's right there. Just those right there. Tank Davis, they have that one opponent in common. But Barrio has Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, and Ugas. There is nobody in Ryan Garcia's resume that can match those three. So without a doubt, he's been in bigger fights and faced better opponents. Will that be a factor? Come fight night, will that be a factor? We're going to find out. But you see what a competitive fight this is when Jay Stradamus hasn't been able to make that prediction. I got to wait for the win. I want to see how they're looking for the win before I make my prediction. So you can expect me to tell you who's going to win this fight after they step on the scale. I'm going to have to wait for that. My peoples, I want to talk to you about the new WBC trinket. The new Mauricio Sulaiman says brought in a chain. Like, man, what the fuck you think this is, man? You think this the rap game or something? They brought in now a chain. And Mauricio Sulaiman says that this is for certain main event champions. So if you're a champion, you're on the main event, you might get that chain. But it's only for certain people. Worth about $40,000. That's what the hell you doing with the sanctioning fee money? Buying stupid ass chains? The chain for... And I'm going to tell you something interesting about this chain. Because it does look nice. Goofy ass shit though. Goofy ass shit. I'm going to tell you something interesting about that chain. What that chain tells me is that Mauricio the Goofball Sulaiman is getting desperate. Because we've been telling you that WBC belt is going to turn into a trinket. More and more fighters are going to be saying F the WBC. So what he doing? Now he brought in this chain. Like, look. If you fight for the WBC, we're going to give you this chain too. Certain main event champions. You know what certain main event champions means? That not everybody gets a chain. Not everybody getting a chain. Only the Mauricio people get a chain. Like, what is you doing? I bet you that this chain is going to be up for grab for Ram Garcia and Mario Barrios. The two Mexican fighters. They're going to have a chain up for grabs. Watch it be other fighters, other champions fight, and there's no chain up for grabs. And the funny thing is, it's only for the main event champion. What does that tell you? Oh, goddamn. We're going to have three champions. We're going to have three champions fighting on Saturday, but only the winner of Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios can grab that chain. Everybody else is a world champion, but no, that chain is not up for grabs for you, baby. So guess what? Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, one of them two going to get that chain. If Canelo Alvarez wins, he going to get that chain. That chain is going to be up for grabs when one of Mauricio guys is up there. Goofy ass chain. You're not fooling nobody, Mauricio. You desperate. Now you know that the WBC is headed downhill. When they trying to offer people chains now. Oh, you're going to get this chain too. If you're the main event and you win, you get this chain. Man, fuck your chain. We been said fuck your belt and fuck your chain too. What is you talking about? William P., that chain is for King Ryan. What a coincidence. They unveiled it right before Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia. It's for one of them too. Clifton Dennis, can you lose the chain after winning it? Nah, it's gonna be, that's a trinket, man. That's another little bullshit ass trinket. Everybody get a chain if Mauricio want them to have a chain. Brascaro, I won't wear that ish. Target for stick-up kids. Of course, man. You like, I'm telling you, I see this chain as Mauricio Sulaiman being desperate. Like, damn, our belts, they turning into a trinket. Fighters are saying, F the belt. We got to make something else to make the fighters more interested. Because the thing is, you also promote the brand, right? This, people don't even understand, this is a promotional tactic. Why? Because if you're a if you, remember, every WBC champion is not getting this chain. Only the most famous ones, because it's for the main event, guys. So you know Canelo, they already made Canelo's chain. It's sitting somewhere around there. They're waiting to put it on Canelo's neck. It's only for some main event. So basically, they're going to reserve it for the biggest stars and oftentimes for the Mexican stars. That's how Mauricio does. That's who he wants to have his belts. But you're not fooling anybody. All this chain is telling me is that you trying to have your brand promoted. If Canelo wearing that chain, you're promoting the WBC. If Ryan Garcia wearing that chain, you're promoting your brand. So that's what they doing. They trying to promote the brand because they know, damn, now we got to do a little bit more. We have fighters saying, F our chain. We got to do more. We're going to have to figure it out. The assassin, Mauricio Sulacaca. Mauricio the goofball Sulaiman. Bringing in this trinket. Another trinket to go along with the trinket belt. We don't give a damn about the WBC no more. We don't recognize the WBC. You goofball. I'm telling you, Mauricio's going to have to learn the lesson. Champions make the belts, not the other way around. That's just the reality. Yeah, goofball. So who's going to end up with that? Who's going to get the first chain? Is it going to be Ryan Garcia? Or is it going to be Mario Barrios? One of these two fighters will be the first to get that WBC chain. The real King George. I won't wear it out in public. I will lock it up, wear a replica. Man, I wouldn't even wear the replica, B. I would sell that shit. Matter of fact, I don't want nobody else to be promoting that crap. So I'll probably go to a jury and be like, yo, break this thing down and make me a different chain. Make me a whole different chain that don't say WBC on it. That's it. That's what I'm doing with that. Because I'm not going to promote your bullshit ass, corrupt ass sanctioning body. But you also have to understand, everybody doesn't agree with me, and I respect it. I know that there's fighters who are going to be happy to wear that chain, rock it, and all of that. But eventually, the WBC is going to turn into shit. Worthless ass chain to me. The assassin. Yo, Jay Smith. Do you see the goofball MMA fighter saying he can unalive Terrence and Shakur? What do you think? Yeah, that's goofballery. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, professional fighters are not out in the streets fighting. Like, that's stupid. It's stupid to say something like that. I would say it's somebody who's broke and struggling financially who says stuff like that. Think about this so you can see what I mean. If you go to your old neighborhood where you grew up at, there's going to be people that's doing good, and there's going to be people that's not doing so good, right? The people that's doing good, that got a career, that got a great job, that got their own businesses, they ain't talking about fighting. They ain't trying to hear nothing about no fighting. They trying to make that bread. They trying to make their life better. But then the losers who are messed up in the game, who owe money, who work at minimum wage, those are the ones that be like, yeah, what's up? You want to fight? I'll fight anybody. I don't give a damn. Yeah, because you fucked up in the game. Your life is fucked up. You ready to fight. You angry. But if you're doing good in life, you don't want to fight, bro. You're not angry. You don't want those type of situations in your life. You dig what I'm saying? But people that's fucked up in the game, they want to fight. So this MMA fighter, I don't even know his name, goofball, talking about I'll kill you in the streets. Of course, you looking at these millionaires and your ass is broke, struggling to pay your bills. Yeah, you want to fight. Yeah, you ready to do whatever in the streets. You broke. You fucked up in the game. We're like, yeah, you just got to ignore people like that. Look, people who are doing good in life can't even waste their time with people who's fucked up in the game. You can't even waste your time. Because why? Why would you? And I've seen successful people fail because they went after a failure. Don't let somebody failing in life dictate what you're going to do. What are you talking about? And you know what's part of that too? Because he knows he could never step in the ring versus these guys. He will get absolutely pummeled. He will get made to look like a delivery driver. So instead of saying, yeah, I'll step in the ring with y'all, in the streets, I will kill them both. Who the hell is fighting in the streets, you dummy? Nobody's fighting in the streets. You're never going to fight them in the streets. Why would you say that? Because you're a dummy. You acted like a loser. That's why. Danny on the ground. I agree. William P. Yeah, dude is crazy. A goofball, bro. He a goofball. Brascarol. The streets got hammers, toasters, lions, bears, tigers. Oh, my. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. It's 2026. What is you talking about? 2026? You talking about these big stars? I will kill them. Come on, man. Like, you sound like a dummy saying some shit like that. You're not strong enough. Your team not strong enough. There's no point in saying that. That's like me telling you, Bill Gates, I will kill him in a street fight. Well, guess what? I'm never even going to get within 100 feet of Bill Gates. What's the point of me telling you that I will kill Bill Gates in a fight? Huh? When my man's got a security team that will neutralize me before I can even get close to him. So, wishful thinking that you would, do all that to Terrence Crawford and to Shakur Stevenson. But you can't even be in the same room as them niggas, bro. You can't even be in the same room. Wherever they at, you outside in the sidewalk, bro. They not even gonna let you in that location. You in the sidewalk like this, you can't get inside. So you sound goofy as hell. Goofball shit. My peoples. Ryan Garcia says that he wants that work from Shakur Stevenson. Ryan Garcia says that he wants that work from Shakur Stevenson. Now, I gotta say, according to Ryan Garcia, he beat Shakur in the amateurs and they robbed him. I didn't see that fight. I don't know if there's any tape of it out there. But Brian says he beat Shakur in the amateurs. And that he got robbed. Is it true? I don't know. Because like I told you, I didn't see it. But there is a possibility that we could get Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson after this fight. If Ryan beats Mario Barrios, he already stated that he's willing to fight Shakur at a catch weight of 144. If he says it, we're going to hold him to it, right? If he wins this fight, him and Shakur could fight next. It could happen. It can happen. Right now, Shakur, he's coming off of a monster win over Teofimo Lopez. Ryan Garcia could be coming off of a great win versus Mario Barrios. And that could set the stage for them to face each other. We can actually get Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson for later this year, which is going to put Shakur on a roll. On a roll. Like you fought Teofimo Lopez and right after that, Ryan Garcia. Come on now. Stocks is already skyrocketing for Shakur Stevenson, and I told you, the next face of boxing is Shakur Stevenson. I know there's a group of fighters who's going to be gunning for that spot. You got David Benavidez. You got Devin Haney. You got Tank Davis, who can still come back and be a factor in the game. Don't get it twisted. Tank is down right now. But do not expect that it's over for Tank, because it's not. He's 30 years old. And he's not going to do a bunch of years in prison or anything like that. Ramirez, Smith, but Conor Ben got the Manito spot. I mean, Conor Ben is on some goofball shit right now. He looked like he chasing clout, and I said it before, I like Conor Ben. I like everything about the way he moves. No Diddy. You know, the way that he applies pressure in the ring, the way he fights, that aggressiveness, and outside the ring, the bullying tactics, the trash talking, everything he does. I feel that about him. I really do, but Conor Ben is on some goofball shit with what he did with Shakur. Talk about $20 million for a rehydration clause. Oh, you mean the Mando? You know, now that you mentioned that, yeah, but Ryan Garcia can easily vacate that shit. That WBC thing is a piece of shit anyways. Ryan Garcia can vacate it and still fight Shakur Stevenson. He can do that. And by the way, Conor Ben himself said that he's looking to fight Rollies next and then Ryan, which means he's not going to enforce that Mando right away after this fight. He's not going to say, Ryan, you got to fight me next, because he's trying to fight Rollies. So if he's trying to fight, and apparently they're already in conversations. They're already trying to make that fight. So if he's going to fight Rollies, that opens up the door for Ryan Garcia to defend versus Shakur Stevenson. And that's a big, big fight, by the way. The Assassin. I'll be honest, Jay. I don't see anybody beating Shakur. Before I had Tank maybe winning, but nah, things changed. Tank been out the game too much or too long. Ramirez, mandatory spot, I mean. The real King George. Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia rematch would be good. I'd like to see it, but it's going to be tough for us to get that rematch, because now Ryan Garcia is already a full-blown 147-pounder. He's definitely not going back down. And my expectation for Tank Davis is that he'll return and he'll be at 140. He'll never fight at 135 again. You can forget about that. But they're not going to be in the same weight class. And I just don't see Tank Davis jumping up to the welterweight division to fight Ryan Garcia. I don't see that happening. So I don't know. It's going to be tough for that fight to get made. Unless a few years down the line, maybe Tank decides I'm going to, give him a crack at the welterweight division. Braskaruk, boxing can be unpredictable. That's why I watch. He sees some comeback KOs and been hooked since. Man, we've seen some crazy knockouts in boxing. We've seen people losing every round and boom, land that shot and it's over for the opponent. Ramirez, or Ryan can go up and fight Xander Sayas. If Ryan wins a title at welterweight, I think he's going to stick around. I don't see him moving up. Because remember, this is going to be his first title. He's never won a title before. Third time may be the charm. So I think if he wins it, he's going to either look to defend that strap or unify. But I see him sticking around at 147 and enjoying being a world champion. Enjoying, maybe Oscar De La Hoya even gets him a couple of easy defenses, a couple of mandatory defenses, so that he can, be a champion for some time. Ramirez. So unification with Devin Haney, that's the ideal, a unification with Devin Haney, because we already want the rematch. The rematch is very much anticipated, right? But Devin Haney says the ship has sailed. So we don't know if we're going to get that unification. The Assassin. Facts. I love when boxers face adversity, like when Abdullah got put on his back and came back and won by KO. Shows what fighters are made of and why I love this sport. And we've seen it in boxing. And Abdullah Mason, not only when he got dropped, because he got dropped by a journeyman, he got dropped by an opponent who was way below him skills-wise. And he just got complacent. But versus Sam Noakes, Abdullah showed us what he was made of. Because this was an opponent that was not going to get stopped, was not going to back down, was going to keep throwing and landing good punches on you, and was just going to keep applying pressure for the whole fight. So that's an opponent that Abdullah cannot impose his will. I'm going to have to beat you at your style. And those are the toughest wins. When you can't, make it your fight and you have to beat them at their game, those are tough wins. And Abdullah showed us what he's made of that night. He had to be better than he'd ever been before. He had to do what he'd never done before. Take himself to another level. And that's exactly what he did. If those who were not in the Abdullah bandwagon, who didn't think he was that guy, he showed it right there. Showed us. Braskarok, Devin will make a move after this weekend. Will Devin actually go to 154? I know that they called out Bill, mentioned Xander Sayas, but I think that Xander Sayas is going to be focused on Josh Kelly. Because remember, if Devin moves up, Xander will be defending. He will be defending against Devin. But if he fights Josh Kelly, he can be a 3-belt unified champion. So, and I've already seen Xander and Josh Kelly go back and forth on social media, like express interest in fighting each other. So I think that's a good possibility. Clifton Dennis, if Ryan and Devin don't unify 47, something off. That's Devin's biggest money. That's a huge payday. That's probably, no, that is the biggest payday that he can get in the division, Ryan Garcia. There's no bigger fight, bigger payday than Ryan. So for him to not unify, but what he's saying is that Ryan Garcia is dropped out of VADA testing, so because of that, he's not fighting him. I don't really understand where that came from, because what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is that Barrios and Garcia are both enrolled in VADA testing. In fact, I think Ryan posted the document, So if they're both in testing, I don't know what Devin is talking about, that Ryan dropped out. I'm not sure, if he has some information that we don't have, or if at any point maybe Ryan dropped out and got back in. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But according to Devin Haney, the ship has sailed. I want to see that fight. We all want to see that rematch. And we have to see how it plays out. My peoples, we getting now, Inoue versus Junto Nakatani. This is going to be another great fight. And look, let me be the first to say, Junto Nakatani, his last fight, he was in a dog fight. And it looked like he could have lost that fight. Like it could have went either way. But him and Nakatani and Inoue fought on the same night. And if he would have took a L, if Nakatani would have took a L, then that would have fumbled the bag on this fight. So I kind of got the feeling like, damn, the judges just gave it to him because they don't want to stop this fight from happening. If he loses, it's over. That's it. The hype is over behind this fight. Clifton Dennis, be excused because Shakur and Ryan had been tested and wants to fight. I mean, I want to see how this is going to play out because Devin has been saying that the ship has sailed. That's his take on it. Clarence McLean, salute my brother. Bam, appreciate you dropping in. Braska Rob, man, I got a question. What's the PED policy in Japan? Honestly, I'm not sure about that because, they have their own athletic commission. So it's hard for me to say. I don't want to tell you, off the top of my head. Clarence McLean, smash that like button. Appreciate it, my brother. No ghost watching, my peoples. No ghost watching. Listen, this right here is going to be a heck of a fight. Both of these fighters have a similar style. They can box. They both have great footwork. But both of them like to bang. Both of them like to trade leather. So I'm expecting for this fight to be a real good one. Of course, I got the monster Naoya Inoue walking out of there with the W. But I gotta tell you, man, Junto Nakatani has the tools and resources to pull off that upset. Don't sleep on him. This is gonna be a very competitive fight. David Balogun, 12 p.m. in London. What's up, bro? Is this fight confirmed? This fight is confirmed. It's going down in Japan. They're going to trade nasty leather. It's only 8:30 in the morning here in the Dominican Republic, so you've been up a little bit longer than a lot of us, enjoying your day and whatnot. You're getting boxing for lunch. The Assassin. Wait, is this official? What did I miss? It's official. I mean, to be honest, I think I seen Inoue. Look what Inoue said. This May at the Tokyo Dome, a clash with Nakatani with everything I got. So, you know, you guys know now. Yeah, you know it. He's not a talker. He's a guy that doesn't talk too much, doesn't put out a lot of statements. So when he says, yo, this May, I'm going to give this man everything I got, I think it's a done deal. I think they both already signed their contracts. Clifton Dennis, I thought this was 50-50 fight. Now I favor the monster. Too smart, too fast, too experienced. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to judge Junto Nakatani by his last fight. He didn't have his best performance. He had a tough opponent in front of him that gave him everything he could handle. But, you know, styles make fights. That doesn't mean that he's going to have a bad performance against Naoya Inoue. I believe that they have very similar styles, and because of that, I expect something, you know, that's going to be very competitive, and anybody can win this fight. If I could split it percentage-wise, I'm saying this is a 60-40 fight. I'm not going to say 50-50, but it's going to be good, man. It's going to be competitive. David Balogun, boxing for lunch for me for sure, bro. I'm always happy when I see you on live. You working. Salute, family. We grinding. We grinding. We headed for number one. We headed for number one, my G. It's the inevitable. Clarence McLean, J. Smith. Got to get you on my show. Yo, Clarence, come on, man. Why I haven't been on your show? Tell me why I haven't been on your show. I don't even know why I haven't been on your show, bro. Look. Hit me up on my DM and let's set something up. I don't even know, my peoples, why I haven't rocked with Clarence McLean, B. Should have been happening. It's long overdue, Clarence. Stop playing. Look. And for everybody who don't know, that's my IG right there. Yo, Clarence. Hit me up on my DM, bro. Let's set something up. Let's set something up. You know when we get together, we're going to be cooking. Shit is going to be a cooking show. Let's make it happen, family, for sure. David Balogun. The Assassin. Okay, Clifton Hackett. David Balogun. What was wrong with his last performance? What weakness were exposed? I heard it wasn't good. Haven't got to rewatch. I'm going to tell you this, David Balogun. The last Nakatani fight, I can't remember his opponent's name. But you have to watch that fight. Those of you who haven't seen Junto Nakatani's last fight, please check it out. So I'm going to tell you where he messed up in his last fight. He had a brawler. He had a brawler, and he decided to brawl with him. Anytime he was using that footwork and that snappy jab, he was doing his thing. He was winning. But too many times, he chose to stand right there in front of his opponent and just trade leather. Bam, 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 bam. And the guy was winning exchanges. A lot of the exchanges on the inside, the guy was winning them. And hurting them, catching them with big shots. So it's almost like he let the ego get the best of him. And he wanted to sit down and punch with him. No, Picasso was Naoya Inoue's last opponent. I'm talking about Junto Nakatani. I don't remember the name of his last opponent, but he was involved in a dogfight, which he shouldn't have been. He should have been able to outbox this guy, use his footwork, use his movement. When he was doing that, when he kept that stick out there, pop, pop, with the combinations and moving, giving him the angles, he was doing his thing. But he chose to trade leather too much and stayed in front of the guy. And he paid the price, man. He almost lost that fight. I'm going to be honest with you. When the last bell rang, I thought that maybe Junto Nakatani took his first L. I really did. Then in the ground. Usually when boxers go to war and then have to fight the monster next, might not go well, my opinion. I mean, he better not try to go to war like that with the monster. He getting knocked out. Getting knocked out. William P says to hit the like button, my people. We've been at it for over an hour. 20 likes. 20 likes over an hour. How? It been probably 500-600 people swing by. 20 likes. God damn, the ghost watching this in full effect. Clarence McClain, because I've been busy with boxing. You're going to be getting busy over here, my boy. Let me know when we rocking. Clifton Dennis. Greg did say something like about Devin Norman. Oh, Devin versus Norman wasn't the exact same. I can't remember. Look, I'm going to tell you what I felt about Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr. I felt like Brian Norman Jr. was not prepared for the Devin Haney that he got. He wasn't. Why? Because leading up to the fight, you guys may remember that Brian Norman Jr. said it on multiple occasions. I know that he's going to run, I'm going to cut off the ring, and I'm going to catch him, I'm going to knock him out. So they went into that fight with those expectations. Like he was just going to be chasing him, and eventually, boom, catch him with the big shot. What happens when you're thinking you're going to chase a guy around and he stand right in front of you? Bing, 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 bing. You cooked. There was a moment where Brian Norman Jr. had the deer in the headlight eyes. Like when he got dropped and he got up, and after that, you could see that he was like he didn't know what to do with them. Because it's not the type of fight that he thought it was going to be. And then you see the lack of experience. Because I told people, listen, Devin Haney is not no Jin Sasaki. He's not out there to get knocked out in round number 1. So yes, Norman Jr., stopped opponents in devastating fashion. But those opponents are not at the level where Devin Haney's operating. And that's the mistake a lot of people made before the fight by saying, oh, Brian Norman Jr. knocked him out. He's doing it in devastating fashion. And Devin's scared. And look how it played out. I didn't feel like Norman Jr. was prepared the right way for this fight. Because had he been prepared, I'm not telling you that he was going to win that fight, but he should have at least been competitive. You see, sometimes you lose, and you lose in such competitive fashion that we like, yeah, it was a good fight. But he got his ass whooped. Wazaza whooped. Dominated. Dropped. Made to look bad. You don't want to take a loss like that because your stock plummets. Boom. Stocks crashed. That's not the way you want to lose. You don't want to lose at all, but there's a big difference between losing in a competitive fight and getting your ass kicked. No good. No bueno, papi. That's not the way you want to go down. William P. Devin is way older than Norman, just more experienced. That experience is a big factor. David Battlegun. I keep saying his dad was shockingly terrible in the corner. He said at one point, you just have to hit him. He ain't special on any area of boxing. It's like, come on, babe. What you mean he not special? Devin Haney's one of the best of this era. One of the best of this era is Devin Haney. Clifton Dennis. One thing about Devin and Bill, they always fight differently than the last and try to surprise opponents. I saw a few times. That's the difference between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. If you watch that fight, there was no point where you saw any adjustment from Brian Norman Jr. to try to change the outcome. Devin Haney just did whatever he wanted to do. Dominated him. And I understand why Brian Norman Jr. fired his pops, Brian Norman Sr. He fired him because he felt like you didn't prepare me to win this fight. You didn't. And this whole time we've been preparing for a guy who was going to be running. But when he didn't run, we didn't have no adjustments for him. We just got our asses kicked. Had to do it. And listen, more sons got to fire their pops. There's that bond, father and son, and that loyalty. And as a team, we got all the way over here. But if you already understand that your pop's not going to get you any further, he got you to as far as he can, it's time to fire him. That's just the reality, because boxing is a business. Teofimo Lopez, he got to fire his pops ASAP. Pop Deuce ain't going to get you any further than he already has. Ramirez Smith, Brian Norman's ranked now in the IBF. He will come back. Best believe that. No, I believe it. I believe it 100%. And I've said this before. Brian Norman Jr. will become a world champion again. He's not going to beat Devin, but he's going to become a champion again. He's cut from that cloth. But he need the right trainer. He need the right team around him to get him to that next level. Because that's the one thing. When you see these fighters that are at the top, they make adjustments. The best out, they make adjustments. And to show you, look at Abdullah Mason. He had to make adjustments to become a world champion. But you look at world champions too, who've been in tough fights, who they had to make adjustments to get that W. Look at Shushu Carrington. He had to make adjustments. He was getting clipped. Did you see Shushu Carrington's last fight? I know you guys did. Shushu was getting clipped with nasty shots. Made some slight adjustments, knocked his opponent the fuck out. See, that's what the great ones do. If you can't make adjustments, the moment you run into somebody who can, your ass is cooked. The moment you run into somebody who has a style that's going to give you problems, your ass is cooked. Simple as that. There's a difference between the real good fighters and the great ones. The great ones are going to make adjustments and find a way to beat your ass. Shaku hands. Cool was beating up Teal. That was a different story with combos, etc. There was no clock watching in the court fight. No Deb and Bill admitted to watching the clock. Look, I want you to think about this. Shakur beat the crap out of Teofimo Lopez. And did you see any adjustment from Teo? No adjustments. There was only one thing that he did in that fight. One adjustment that was working, but he didn't do enough. He didn't use it to do more. You know what worked for Teofimo Lopez in that fight with Shakur? That he started doing like in the 6th round? The jab to the body. That stabbing jab, bang to the body. He started catching Shakur with a nice jab to the body. But he had already taken so many punches, he had already taken so many counter punches, that he wasn't doing anything with that jab. He was just, bang, just that it. He wasn't trying to jab to the body, hook to the dome piece. Jab to the body, straight right hand up top. You got the southpaw in front of you. So there's little things that he could have done to back up that jab, and he didn't. He was just throwing that. So he was respecting Shakur Stevenson's power. In case you didn't notice, Teofimo Lopez became shy with that punch output because he was getting clipped. David Balogun, Norman Jr. Dad has to take a lot of blame for that loss, and he ain't set up for nothing. Haney had coming. Haney spectacular. You misunderstood me there, bro. And let me say something. Let me say something, David. Because I think maybe I misspoke. Because I understood what you were saying. I felt like there wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot that Norman Sr. was doing in the corner or was instructing in the corner. But I don't even want to boil it down to that, because sometimes they work on the game plan, and in the corner I'm using motivational stuff. But I wasn't seeing instructions as to do this and that. Adjust by doing this. He's doing this. I need you to do that. I wasn't seeing those type of instructions. And if your son getting his ass kicked, that's what you want to see. You know what's happening. and how can we offset what Devin Haney's doing. I didn't really see that in the corner. But the preparation for this fight, it doesn't look like it was there, man. I don't want to knock Brian Norman Sr., but his son didn't look like he was in there prepared to win that fight. He looked like he was there to get his ass kicked. Ramirez, also Shakur done already showed and told y'all preparation matters. A lot like Shakur say, you can't beat me because I'm here sparring with Keyshawn, getting great work from elite fighters and all-time greats. I mean, Shakur Stevenson, imagine, maybe sparring with Terrence Crawford, with Keyshawn Davis, and with more fighters, with all type of fighters, different styles, different sizes. Shakur Hands, that's also not true. That's why I'm the second. That's why in the second, Dev said Norman made him make adjustments in the second half. David Battlegun, but his dad didn't instruct those instructions, brother. His dad didn't help him at any point in that corner, skills-wise. Shakur Hands, you were the first one to say that about being a champ again. He did make adjustments. Now, I didn't see, honestly, I didn't see it. I really didn't see it. I think he tried to be, because if you're falling behind on the cards, right, and you already know you're getting to a point where the only way I could win this fight is by knockout. So automatically, there's that pressure for you to be more aggressive and to try to make something happen for yourself and to try to let your hands go more. But I really didn't see it as adjustments. I really didn't see him like setting Devin Haney up, trying to counter Devin, trying to do some of the things to offset what he was doing. Honestly, I didn't feel that way. David Balogun, me or Jay Smith, Clifton Dennis. I want Norman Keyshawn before I see Keyshawn Devin. Ooh, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. But I don't think Keyshawn Davis is going to fight Brian Norman Jr. because he's trying to pursue a title. I think he's trying to go straight to the top, you know. And he already said, I'm not paying no sanctioning fees, but he's trying to beat a champion. He's trying to beat somebody to where his profile, his stocks are going to go up, and he's going to say, Dev, we're going to fight, but you got to pay me this much. I'm trying to get paid. My peoples, I want to tell you about this fight that's coming up, because when young fighters are building that resume, you know that they're getting lower level opponents, but eventually they're going to have to fight somebody, right? This is a real good fight, my peoples. This is a real good fight. Frank Sanchez versus Richard Torrez Jr. My peoples. Richard Torrez Jr. is a young heavyweight who's been making noise, who's been knocking people out in spectacular fashion. But whoa, come on now. Wes Dustin, salute, my brother. This is going to be Richard Torrez Jr. first real test. And Frank Sanchez, he got power. He'll stand right inside with you and trade bombs. So this is going to be a good one right here. The first time that they step him up versus this type of opponent. We're about to find out what Richard Torrez is made of. Because Frank Sanchez is for real. He's for real. And let me say this. I worry a bit about Richard Torrez Jr. for one reason. And it's because when he's letting the hands fly, he likes to throw looping punches. And he does this. He's not like bang, bang, bang. No. He goes like this. He does it fast and hard. But I feel like they gotta clean that up a little bit. Because once you get to the championship level, these guys who have those reflexes, those skills, when they counter you and you like this, boom, it's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty. Like they will blow you out of the water if you're over there going like this. So Richard Torrez, obviously, he's an Olympian. I don't remember what medal. Did he win like silver or bronze medal? I don't know if he won an Olympic medal. I can't remember off the top of my head. But he obviously has that amateur pedigree. He obviously can fight. He's undefeated as a heavyweight. But the mechanics, when he's letting the hands go, like when he's bam, 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 I worry about him. I feel like, you know, when he gets to that next level, that he's fighting the world champions, whew, it's going to be, you know, if he get caught in between punches, he goes to sleep. The Assassin, I see you got Torrez all day. Zay, salute, bam. Clifton Dennis, this is a good matchup. But the heavyweight division doesn't always get me excited. I don't know why. I mean, I think the heavyweight division has been down for some time. And what I say has been down for some time, if you look at it, it's a few guys. It's just a few guys. And those few guys are all getting to the tail end of their career. If you look at Usyk, he's close to 40 years old. Obviously, Tyson Fury is right there around the corner to 40. So there's a lot of fighters out there who's been the mainstay of the division, who they're at the tail end of their career. So who's next to take over that division? Richard Torrez Jr. is one of those fighters that people say he can be the next big heavyweight. Honestly, I'm not sure. Side, Caballero victims. You see, Caballero is for real, man. Caballero is for real. And he should have got an opportunity. He's Usyk mandatory. And Usyk want to do a defense first and then get to Caballero, which I think that says a lot about the type of fighter Caballero is. If you don't know Caballero, check him out. This dude can fight. He's dangerous. And I don't even think they'll put Richard Torrez Jr. versus Caballero yet. I don't think they want to do that. Zay, Mayweather and Tyson, it's a joke. I mean, it's an exhibition fight. Floyd Money Mayweather, Mike Tyson, they're going to get that bag in a little exhibition. It's about getting that paper. They're going to get that money together. Side. But I see Italma reigning. Oh, you see? Moses Italma, to me, is a special fighter. It's a guy who, if they move him the right way, if they develop him the right way, he could be the guy in the heavyweight division. He could be it. Frank Warren been smart about moving Italma. They could have been for a title if they wanted to. They could have been pursued that. But they're taking their time. What is he, like 22 years old? He's young. He's a young fighter. So they taking their time with that development process. But when he finally step up to the plate, he's going to snatch a title. And I think ultimately, Moses Italma and Richard Torrez Jr. could be a huge fight, a super fight. It could end up happening. But of course, they both have to stay undefeated. But don't forget about Caballero, bro. Caballero is the truth. One of those two guys is going to end up in the ring with Caballero, if not both. West Dustin, Dubois washes everybody left. Nah, I don't think Dubois washes Usyk, who beat him twice, last time by stoppage. And honestly, I don't think Dubois beats Caballero. I don't know, man. Caballero, once you see him fighting, you're going to understand why I say that, bro. Italma, too. Italma put the beats on Dubois. Clifton Dennis, that young dude is clearly the cream of the crop. I forgot his name right now. I think you may be talking about Moses Italma. There you go, Italma. Italma, bro, he for real. For real, for real. The Assassin, I watch any of these guys fight Caballero, Fabio, Italma, Torrez. Listen, bro, Caballero is for real. Fabio Worley is for real. Moses Italma is for real. Richard Torrez Jr. is for real. Don't forget about Terra Moana. He's for real. Ramirez. Richard Torrez ain't big enough to be the next heavyweight. I think that he's really good. He can fight. I just think that, man, he gets a little bit sloppy. When he letting the hands fly the inside, I see Richard Torrez Jr. get sloppy, and I feel like the top heavyweights, they're gonna find some holes and catch him with some big shots and get him out of there, to be honest. Marky, who you got, Barrios or Garcia? I'm making that prediction after the weigh-in, bro. I haven't been able to make that prediction. It's such a good fight that I'm going to wait for the weigh-in to see if there's anything that I could get from that. Wes Dustin, I got to see these guys. I haven't seen many heavyweights lately. Thing is that in the heavyweight division, we have the aging stars, and then none of the guys coming up have really made a name for themselves just yet. So the heavyweight division is kind of down when it comes to popularity at this point. Clifton Dennis, wait a minute. You say Tama beat Dubois already? Yo, I think Tama beats him right now. That's the type of special fighter that I see Moses Itama. Moses Itama is like an Abdullah Mason at the heavyweight division. I don't mean that he looks like Abdullah Mason style-wise, but I feel like he's that special where he's young, but he could beat experienced fighters right now. Right now, he could do it. Wes Dustin, nobody beats Usyk. I think Dubois is number 2 guy. Yeah, Usyk, man, how can you bet against him with everything he's already done? But I will say, I want you to take this into consideration, Wes Dustin. Caballero is Usyk's mandatory. That should have been Usyk's next fight. And Usyk petitioned the WBC to let him do a voluntary defense. Meaning he gets to defend against somebody that he chooses. And after the voluntary defense, he's going to fight his mandatory in Caballero. So the fight that he doesn't want to fight Caballero next, I think that's telling, bro. Caballero may be the guy to pull off the upset. And to anybody tuning in who has not seen Caballero, please look him up. Look him up. This guy's for real, y'all. This guy, he's a destroyer. He's out there. You know those fighters who are out there to hurt their opponent? Like, they don't just want to beat you, they want to hurt you. Caballero is that type of fighter, bro. He got that type of energy in the ring. My peoples, check out Keyshawn Davis applying that pressure on Devin Haney. Keyshawn Davis is applying that pressure on Devin, fellas. Check it out. You ain't standing on your word. And I'm making you run out of your own weight class. What are we talking about? You guys remember that Devin Haney specifically said, I want to fight Shakur and Keyshawn Davis. He said it, right? And he want to fight little brother first in Keyshawn. Keyshawn is applying that pressure. He like, what's up? What's really good with y'all? Shakur has Usyk just fought all these guys. William P, yeah, but he's not trying to fight Caballero next. Caballero is his mandatory, bro. I don't want to hear who you fought in the past. I want to hear when you're going to fight Caballero and why you're not fighting him next. That's your mandatory. What are you talking about? I want to fight somebody else. So Caballero need his opportunity, y'all. Give him his shot. The Assassin. I got Keyshawn. Whoa. Wes Dustin. Little brother first. Okay. So little brother's really ready for that smoke. Matter of fact, you guys probably even seen Keyshawn Davis approach Bill Haney and be like, yo, what's up? We're going to make this happen. And Bill told him, like, yeah, we you know, I see you on it. You trying to make things happen. So Keyshawn Davis really about that smoke. He about that life. Shakur Hands, he just had those Joshua Fury and Dubois. Let him rock out, bro. So, I mean, it's not like he's fighting every 2 months, every 3 months, bro. He's taking some time to rest. He's taking some time. But the thing is, right now, how old is Usyk? 36, 37, something like that? 35, I'm not sure how old he is. But still, at this point, you got to go to work. You got to go to work. Side, I think I got Keyshawn too. Tough fight. I mean, Keyshawn Davis, Devin Haney, that's a big, big fight. Shaku Hands, Caballero. Clifton Dennis. Keyshawn, go fight Norman, a common opponent. Let's see how you handle that. Or get Eddie to set you up with his 147 champion or Hitchens. Look, I can tell you right now that Keyshawn Davis, he's trying to fight either Devin Haney or get a big name. He's trying to get a big name. I can pretty much, we can see that a mile away. He's trying to position himself as one of the best. My peoples, got something else for y'all. Got something else for y'all. Hold on. He gonna get old. He does need to beat Caballero, but that's what I'm talking about. If you don't fight Caballero next, okay, then now he's gonna push a little bit further down the line because it would be after that. But Usyk, he's at the tail end of his career, and the more you wait to fight these dudes, the more possibility they got to beat your ass. And the more fans are going to discredit, like, oh, nah, because what happened was he was old when they did it. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. Caballero deserves his shot. Give it to him. My people's Eddie Hearn signed a new deal with the Zone. Now, I think they extended it for like 5 more years. That's a good thing for Matchroom. The Assassin Smith, I guarantee you Keyshawn won't be a deer in the headlight like that clown Norman Jr. I mean, Keyshawn Davis, he's already been showing us that he's at a different level. He ain't going to be no deer in the headlight for sure. He's going to give Devin Haney some serious problems. And that's a competitive fight, a real competitive fight. Shaku Hands, Bahrain is more popular, should have a belt and bigger pay-per-view and an easier style that's more entertaining for the fight parties. There's a possibility that Garcia is going to become a world champion on Saturday. Let's see if third time is the charm. Because he lost to Tank Davis, lost to Rollies. Now he got another title shot right in front of him. JJ's in the house. Good morning, J. Smith. I'm here. Let's go. Salute, family. Bam. Side. Damn, Assassin. Why he a clown? Yeah, I don't agree, man. I don't know. I don't agree with that statement. John Norman Jr., you know, he wasn't prepared to beat Devin Haney. He lost in a bad way. But I wouldn't say he a clown, man. He really is a top-level guy, a real good fighter, real disciplined fighter. He just had somebody in front of him that he didn't know how to deal with. Wes Dustin, Devin better get Keyshawn now that Bomac ain't training him. Look, Bill Haney is writing a lot of checks that Devin is going to have to cash. You saying Keyshawn, you calling out Keyshawn name, you calling out Shakur name, you calling out Xander Sayas at 154, you know, you calling out all these names, but that sets the expectations. Where we start to say, okay, you got to fight these guys, you got to fight these names. We got to see those fights, right? But one thing that I got to tell you guys, with Eddie Hearn extending that deal so that Matchroom can be on the Zone for the next 5 years, that puts him in good position. Look at Virgil Ortiz. He's trying to leave Golden Boy because their contract with the Zone expired. So he's saying, oh, I'm a free agent. You're not going to be on the Zone anymore. I ain't rocking with you. And right when that happens, Eddie Hearn is already done with a new deal. So we know that Matchroom is going to be on the Zone for the next 5 years. Maybe more, because I don't know how much time is left on their contract. Clifton Dennis, Shakur is tricky. Keyshawn, and is going to get him beat. Moving up after one fight to go against Dev can backfire. You know, I never liked the idea of Keyshawn having one fight at 140 and going straight to 147. I would have preferred for him to stay there for 2-3 fights. That would have been my preference. Wes Dustin, Norman Spence would be interesting stylistically. I like that fight. But Errol Spence is going to have his hands full with Tim Tszyu. That's going to be a real good fight, and it's going to be a lot more competitive than what people think. I've already seen folks saying Spence is going to wash him, and Tim Tszyu is washed. You got to look at who beat Tim Tszyu, bro. He got beat by Sebastian Fundora, the guy in the 154 division. Because right now, Sebastian Fundora owns that division no matter what anybody says. He's the guy. And he lost to Bakar Mortasaliev. We know what's the deal with Mortasaliev. So it's not like Tim Tszyu is out there losing a bumps. He lost to two great fighters. One, a world champion in the division. Errol Spence been inactive for 2.5 years. A little bit over 2.5 years. So we got to see how he's going to look when he comes back. Now, in shape, Errol Spence, I've seen some images. He's already in great shape. He's in great shape. And that tells me that when he cut weight, he's going to be shredded. Yes, sir. Physically. But what kind of punch output are we going to get from Errol Spence? Is he going to be shy with the output? Are we going to find ourselves saying, Spence, let your hands go, bro. Come on, Spence, throw some punches, bro. We got to see if that Terrence Crawford beating did anything to him mentally. Gotta see it, my peoples. Skip a clip of Keyshawn versus Pitbull Cruz would be great for boxing. I like that fight. I like that fight. For sure. Side, he been running on the beaches of Jamaica. Damn, on the beaches on Jamaica, you know he's smoking blunts like crazy. Getting blasted out there. Clifton Dennis bloodied up. Eyes bloodied as hell probably. Clifton Dennis. Matchroom is getting better. They just need a few more USA and Mexican fighters to really get me. I don't like all those UK cards. You know, I think that Eddie Hearn has been working towards that. You see that Matchroom is staging more cards in the US. And they're bringing fighters. Look, they got Shakur Stevenson. They got Jerome Bruce Ennis. Two of the most important names right now in boxing, I believe, is those two. Because they're young, they're accomplished, and they're going to keep winning and accomplishing. Both of those guys, you already see Shakur top 3 on the pound-for-pound list, and Boots is only a matter of time before he breaks in. Only a matter of time. So that's two big names that Eddie Hearn has, and I think you're going to continue to see him, you know, bringing in American fighters, doing more cards in the US of A. John Parham, the assassin, yes, but I think it was his pop strategy that backfired. Trying to play a mental game. Yeah. I believe that it backfired too, bro. Pop Dukes, I don't think he prepared his son to win that fight. They tried. He tried. But the game plan just wasn't right. Side, Arrow better cut them dreads. Because if he get his wig pushed, it's going to look crazy. Oh, man, hold on, man. We don't want Arrow to have the wig pushed. You know, let's hope that doesn't happen. We don't want to see the wig pelt. Jay is in there, has Jay Smith, nothing but facts. You know how we do it, my G. John Parham, Pitbull will give Keys problems, but I think Keys edges a W. Yeah, I got Keyshawn Davis beating Pitbull Cruz, but you guys know Pitbull's a guy who's going to stand there, bang it out with you, let the hands fly. He could take a shot and still forward. So he's going to make Keyshawn Davis earn that W. It's not going to be an easy one. Zay, Spence needs to just retire. He's going to become a vegetable. Look, I worry about Spence's health just because after he lost to Crawford, it almost looked like he disappeared. Like, I felt like they was hiding him from the cameras. You know, is his speech messed up? Is he different than what he was before that fight? I don't know, because you don't really see Spence like that anymore. You don't really hear him talking like that anymore. It's almost like you only get to see a little image here, a little image there, a little video. But you don't really see Spence interacting on camera like that anymore. So I don't know where he's at mentally. I felt like after a beating like that, he should retire. But if he feel like he's ready to come back, because that's one thing I like. He says, I'll come back when I'm ready. So I felt like, you know what? If he feels like he's ready to come back, I'm a supporter. I support Errol Spence, whatever he decides to do, including if he wants to fight. Side, Boots needs to unify at 154. Well, he got to grab a title first. You got to grab a title so you can unify because he's not a champion just yet. John Parham, I want T.O. Norman. Ooh, in a comeback fight. Two guys, one lost to Shakur, one lost to Devin, fighting each other. That's a good fight. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you why that's not a good comeback fight for Norman. It's not a good comeback fight for Norman Jr. because he's not going to beat Teofimo Lopez. He's not. Teofimo wins that fight. So you don't want to go back-to-back losses. Like right now, Brian Norman Jr. stocks is down because of the way he lost. So he get dominated again, it's going to be like, oh shit, you know, he's going to get discredited. Stocks keep dropping. So I think that could be a good fight for Tio because he wins it. For Norman Jr., I don't know. Honestly, when you get your ass kicked the way that he did, I think he needs to fight somebody that we never heard of, that he's going to look good, probably knock him out, and, you know, feel confident in himself, and then start going back up. Get you an easy win. Get you a good, easy win where you look spectacular. John Parham, dreads add padding. That's a fact. Those punches to the head when you got them big-ass dreads, they help out. Wes Dustin, Boots needs to focus on the champions. I agree, Si. Hold on, because we might still get, remember, we might still get Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. You know, they in court right now trying to figure that out. And I'm telling you, man, I really, really want that fight badly. Badly, my peoples. We've been asking for it. We've been calling for it for quite some time. So in my opinion, this fight has to happen. Has to happen. Is Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn going to stage it together? Or is Eddie Hearn going to stage it by himself? Whichever way it plays out, I want to see it. I want to see it. Clifton Dennis. Damn, Norman loses to Tio. What the F? So why do you think he will become a champion again? I think that he'll become a champion again because he's that type of fighter. He's that type of fighter. But you have to consider this. Teofimo Lopez is a guy who's fighting in the 140 division. So I'm not matching him up with a guy from a lower division who's not a champion in his own division. And I'm not even telling you he beats this guy or that guy. I'm telling you he has what it takes to become a world champion again. I see that happening. But just like Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez has a shitload of experience over Brian Norman Jr. A lot. It's a lot of difference between the opponents that you face compared to the opponents that I faced. And that's a factor. That becomes a factor. Side, it has to happen, but Boots ain't getting on the pound-for-pound list for beating Virgil. No, I don't think so. I don't think a win over Virgil is going to put him on the pound-for-pound list. But it does get him closer to it. A win like that, he becomes a champion afterwards, and he cracks the list. He's in. He might get in right afterwards. Side, it was a close fight. I feel 7-5 either way. Zay, Boots is going to be that champ who you never get the big fights. I mean, I said this before. I said it about Shakur, and I'm saying it about Boots. When Shakur became a champion at 135, I told a lot of people, bro, Shakur's on the same path as Terrence Crawford, which means a lot of the names are not going to want to fight him because they know they're going to take an L. They're not going to want to fight him. He's going to have to keep raising his profile until somebody finally says, okay, I'm going to fight you. And look, now he got the fight with Teofimo Lopez, dominated him, and now you're going to see more fights coming in. Look, Ryan Garcia, who had previously said he had no interest in Shakur, now is talking about fighting Shakur. Even talking about going to a catch weight of 144 to fight him. So now there is going to be interest in Shakur getting those fights. Boots is on that same situation. Look at Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly was supposed to fight Boots. And he's like, nah, Boots don't really got nothing to offer. I prefer Xander Side. Because Josh Kelly knows Boots will beat the shit out of him. He know. So he's not trying to get that smoke. So Boots is going to be in the same train Shakur Stevenson was. Nobody want to fight him. Up until he gets a big win, raises his profile, and now a lot of people want that payday. They want that bag. So I believe beating Virgil Ortiz is going to do that for Jaron Boots Ennis. Wes does it. Well, Ray Gordo. Salute to everyone. Sorry I'm late, Jay Smith and everyone. What do you think about the new WBC championship change? Oh, man. Mauricio Sulaiman is a goofball, bro. A goofball. That's what I got to tell you about that. Wes does it, Jay Smith. I think Boots and Virgil could still build up. It's one of the few super fights in boxing. I want titles on the line for that fight. I mean, I want titles on the line for that fight. But honestly, what I want more is for them to climb the ring. That's it. I don't want to wait any longer. Yes, titles, you're putting something on the line now. But they both undefeated. They both putting that O on the line. Putting that O on the line may be even better than titles on the line. You know why? Because if either one of them loses and then there's titles on the line, now we're looking at like, oh shit, man, you lost already. It's not the same. With those two donuts on the records, that makes it a big fight. I don't need the belts to be on the line. And the thing is that these are two fighters who we wanted to see them fight since they was at the welterweight division. We wanted to see it, and it couldn't happen. So I'm ready for that fight, bro. I don't need to wait anymore. I don't need for it to be marinated anymore. So as far as the WBC goofball chain, I'm looking at this shit and it's like, damn, this what Mauricio the dummy Sulaiman is wasting the sanctioning fee money on chains and shit. Funny thing about that chain is that they already said, number one, they're only awarding it to main event champions. That's number one. And number two, they're awarding it to some main event champions. That means that everybody don't get one. I guarantee you 100% the Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios fight, that chain is going to be up for grabs. I guarantee you they already made Canelo's chain. Canelo's chain is already sitting somewhere for when he fight for the title. Yeah, Canelo, we already got your chain. Don't worry. But the truth of the matter is, this chain is trash. Trash. What that chain tell me is that Mauricio getting desperate. Like, damn, so our belt is already looking like a trinket to everybody. We need to add something. Let's put a chain in here. Let's do like the rappers and have them rocking chains. Since we did Terrence Crawford dirty and Shakur Stevenson dirty, let's put out chains. Maybe the black fighters are gonna want us because we got a chain for them. Like, what the fuck is you thinking, bro? A chain? A chain that's not even for all the champions, only for some champions that you decide? Man, get the fuck out of here. Goofy ass chain. I already told y'all, man, Mauricio Sulaiman is a goofball, bro. Real goofball. Side, yeah. Ryan's name is already etched on the pendant. They already got Ryan Garcia's chain sitting there somewhere. And Canelo Alvarez's chain is sitting. We know the champions that are going to get a chain. We know who Mauricio want to give a chain to. Goofy-ass chain. Side, world best clenbuterol. Clifton Dennis. Damn, it hurts to see the green belt losing respect. I already told y'all, man, I don't even recognize that bullshit-ass trinket. In my opinion, if you have the WBO, the WBA, the IBF, and the Ring Magazine belt, you're undisputed to me. You're an undisputed champion. I will not require a fighter, me. I don't require you to hold the WBC trinket. That's a piece of shit already. It's been established. Clifton Dennis, that belt has always been the stood out to me since a kid. To me too, bro. The green belt. But the green belt has turned into a piece of shit. They got a circus show going on over there. Ray Gordo, the chain reminds me of a rapper signed to my new label, Jerking You Records. Jerking You Promotions. They doing anything to keep the fighters bringing in that sanctioning fee money. Jerking You Productions. Get the fuck out of here. JJ said that Jay Smith. Did you also see the new WBC belt for the trainers now? Listen, man, it's going to get to a point that the WBC is going to give a belt to the trainer, to the promoter, to the fighter. They're going to start giving belts to the fans, bro. At some point, Mauricio the dummy Sulaiman is going to be like, yo, the fans, if you're a WBC fan, you getting a belt too. Like, how many motherfucking belts y'all giving out, bro? This shit crazy. Like, this motherfucker going to be like Oprah. You get a belt, and you get a belt, and you get a chain, and you get a pendant. Dummy. He a dummy. BBO Sports. Salute. Keep cooking. Salute, family. Bam. Zay. If they were giving out watches, that would look better. I mean, look. I'm going to be honest. I'm not with giving no jewelry. It's just a chain. We fighters, we gladiators. We get belts. Chain, jewelry, like what are we doing? Like to me, all I see is that you're trying to make people interested in your sanctioning body. You're already seeing that people are saying, F the WBC. We don't give a damn about the WBC. So now you came up with this little trinket. Look, bro, we got change for you. We got change for you. Nah. I don't want to hear about no goddamn chain. No, because John, listen to this, John Parham. Supposedly, this chain is worth like 40,000. So if it is worth 40,000, they could get watches. Because you could get a Rolex for 10K, 15K. A nice Rolex. But again, we fighting for that belt. We ain't fighting for no goddamn chain. And really all you're trying to do is promote your brand. Look, wear this chain so people could see the WBC. People could start valuing the WBC. I reject your bullshit ass trinket. Your bullshit ass chain. Your goofy ass chain. I don't want to hear it. You're not changing my mind. Like, if you already felt like the WBC is a piece of shit, a chain is not going to change your mind. You're still a piece of shit. You ain't changing my mind. Look at this shiny chain. Look at this shiny pendant. Fuck you. That's what I got for that. My peoples, I'm about to end this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. Flipmo in the building. Wes Dusset, MZ3, Clifton Dennis, John Parham, JJ Zendeja, Zay, BVO Sports, the Lunatic Librarian in the building. What's the deal, my brother? And yo, everybody else who tuned in, I appreciate you, fellas. You know what it is. Whoa, the Lunatic Librarian showed up with the super chat vibes. Salute, my brother. You know this never been about the money. This about the love for the sweet science. But the way that you show me your appreciation, and you always do, you always show your support, I appreciate you, family. The Lunatic Librarian says, no matter what the WBC gives you as a fighter, you pay for it. Like all the belts. If you don't pay the fee, you can't play. Ooh. You see, before ending the show, I'm going to have to address that. They not really, you see, they frame it like we're giving you now this chain. But motherfucker, you taking the sanctioning fee money from everybody to buy that chain? That's everybody money buying that chain. Goofball, you ain't giving shit out. The money, that $40,000 that the chain supposedly cost, you could use that money for those fighters who are retired, who are broke, who need money. You could say here's 40K. No, you're using it for a goddamn piece of shit ass chain that you're gonna give it to whoever you want to give it to. What kind of shit is that? Now, if you tell me every WBC champion is getting a chain, then I'm like, okay, that's something that they're doing for everybody. Cool. But you're only doing it for main event champions and for some champions, which you get to decide. So who's gonna get one of those pendants? Ryan Garcia, if he wins, he's gonna get one. For sure, they already got it ready for this Saturday. Canelo Alvarez, he gets one if he wins. But how about all them other champions that ain't getting one? That's out there putting that work. So I don't want to hear it. That's a piece of shit chain. That's just the reality. That's what I'm going to leave you with today's show. That is a piece of shit chain. And I don't give a damn about it. My peoples, Ray Gordo, JJ's in there, Shackle Hands, the Lunatic Librarian, and everybody else who tuned in this morning, man. One love to everybody. I appreciate every single one of you. Remember, of course I'm going to be calling these fights. You guys know that I call the big fights. So I will be calling it. I will be giving you the live commentary. And I got a feeling with this card, my peoples, we're going to get fireworks. We're going to get some serious fireworks. So you can expect the elite level commentary. Devastating blow, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the humanity. It's going to be that type of action. So don't miss Fight Night with Jay Smith on Saturday. We're going to go in. My peoples, I'm getting the hell out of here. Jay Smith, I'm signing off. I wish you all an amazing day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go to work, get your money, and enjoy your family. We out of here, my peoples. Bam.